This is going to be an all-encompassing conspiracy theory video. This isn't a rabbit hole, it's a wormhole. And it's distorting your time space. The video will not have a title that YouTube can flag after a certain number of hours, or maybe it will for many, many hours after a certain point. We'll see what happens. I'm going to be taking advantage of what these individuals use the German language for. Remember, it's only Playboy if you put the word boy and play together that way. If it's boy play, it's a very different thing. The meaning is lost, but the search engine optimization is still found. Here we go. Really bad example, but it's perfect at the same time, don't you think? Can't get it out of your head, can you? The pronunciation for certain German words. Sonnenkrieg, or Krieg, division. Sun or solar war in the United Kingdom. Atomwaffen division in 2015. All-encompassing one. Feuerkrieg division. Fire war. 2018. Baltic state. Myths for Nazi occultism and Ultima Thule. An Estonian kid now leads 30 grown men. Because totally not going to make another joke about that. Murderers. Terrorist attack plans, not necessarily attacks, but sometimes attacks. Propaganda, memes, shitposting. Advocating for a race war, like serial killer Charles Manson did when he did a false flag, trying to get another group of people blamed. Because that's what the Zeitgeist was. Taking advantage of social unrest and manipulating it. Playing both sides against each other. So like a sociopath trying to fuck with your friends and you, by getting you to attack each other so they can sit back and watch the chaos that they cause. Literally the devil. Or just that group that I'm talking about. Charles Manson was a mutual fanboy with James Mason, totally not terrifyingly close there, who wrote something called Siege. Read Siege became a meme, a mentality, a website, a culture, a subculture. Nazi doctrine spread by an outright Nazi. He's not a neo-Nazi, he's a Nazi. He tells people that. It's in your face. 2017 post-Charlottesville disaster. Started off being a trolling and shitposting alt-right subculture, summer of love that they wanted to do. A big joke. And because they say they weren't trying to cause a problem, they were just poking at the beast of what was going to happen. They then started to joke that they seek to incite a second American Civil War II electric Boogaloo Boy movement. Some channels I like that are gun channels have been encouraged to literally reuse that expression. For those of you who aren't aware of this sequel that's in the works by these individuals, at least they say they are. So let's ignore it. The original Civil War, if you read the Articles of Confederacy and declarations by individual states or subgroups in the South, was explicitly to do a specific thing that people keep saying didn't get said. When a group of people tell you dead ass that they're starting a civil war so they can maintain slavery, that's it. That's dead ass the wording. You have to fucking work about how are you going to deal with that? You lie about what they said. They didn't mean it. They were just shitposting. You're not reading it. Read their works. Yes, some of them didn't say it. That's not relevant. The ones that did are what I'm talking about. Well, not all Nazis were Nazis. Find people on both sides. Yes, the Boogaloo movement is about causing a civil war in the United States, by causing a race war, by causing a civil unrest level that gets so high that you can hide your little race war in it, or whatever you want to create chaos, to be the anarchists in the middle of a Black Lives Matter quiet protest that go off and burn a house down. And also encouraging them to think, well, it's inevitable, you should do it too. And the people pulling the strings are the ones who told you to show up at Charlottesville, on both sides. They've been doing it all along. They've been doing it for forever. There's always that variety of person, we would call them sociopath or psychopath or whatever, that fucks with two people to get them to fight each other. For the same reason, in the video game Doom, I would run into a room that was packed with bad guys, monsters, that if I poked at them, they would accidentally shoot each other and keep shooting each other until they were gone. Getting the Kehu demons and lost souls to fight each other in a room while I hid around the corner because they were too stupid to chase me. It was less work. That's all this is about. They don't support your belief or your opponent's belief. They act like they support you and your opponent by using different channel names. They explicitly tell you that they're doing this if you go look this up. Because they know that nobody's going to pay attention. Once you get worked up, you don't listen to the devil telling you he's playing you like a fiddle. When the bad guy monologues in some sci-fi movie or some cartoon, we all think, well, that's stupid. Nobody would do that. But people really do. Yes, Charles Manson was doing a false flag event. But let's ignore that. Let's assume everything else is a false flag, because that's not like some crazy-ass meme or you're just posting that to get people fighting each other. Divide and conquer. Get them to agree to fight, because it feels good to fight an opponent. Instead of, you're alt-right and left here arguing. That'll get something done if exactly 50% of the population argues with the others. A house divided against itself caving in. And those middle-of-the-road milksops that cooperate and suddenly shit gets done, we got to kill that off, because American exceptionalism has always been based on not cooperating and solving problems. Not dropping our differences and just fixing shit. Every time in history you see American exceptionalism, it's because we dropped our differences and fixed shit, not because the Republicans or the Democrats won. I dare you to prove me wrong. I want you to work at it. You're going to spend a lot of time doing it. I can't find an incident where we really did progress that much. Yeah, but no. Actually find a real example instead of the one you got from your cut and paste list from Facebook. By the way, every one of you that was told to show up at any protest over the last 5 years, you were told to do that by a group of people that were telling your opponents to do it. Assertion by the group of people that are doing this, and it's a subgroup, and it's also done by other countries, and it's also done by propagandists. They're just doing the same procedures I would do in a video game. They're just doing it against people instead of NPCs. If you're not a player, you're not an NPC. You're just being played. Any attempt to work inside the parameters of normal politics was doomed to failure. Democracy was never an option. To have a whites-only ethno-state, or anything else you want to do here, but this is the one that was said, citizens are able to survive off the land. Self-sufficiency is preached. Preparation for the anticipated societal collapse we will cause. We discuss plans often to acquire illegal weapons, illegally modifying weapons, and manufacturing explosives and ammunition. Illegally. Always illegal. Even though, and I'm going to tell you this really quickly, it's not illegal to make ammunition. It's not illegal to make a weapon, as long as it doesn't configure as an illegal weapon. Or illegally, you can modify a weapon legally just as easily as you can illegally. You're just restricted in certain combinations that are not really any different. If you want a short barrel shotgun, you build a firearm. It's a pistol grip gun. It has a short barrel if you really want to. And then you realize after this fantasy has been fulfilled that it's crap. And then you put a long barrel on it and basically make a 26-inch barreled pistol. Because that format is a way to get out of every single law that exists. It can be smoothbore at that point because the barrel's long enough. We accelerate disorder, total collapse of Western society and government. Accelerationism is what we're discussing here. Take power after causing chaos, sowing any chaos, claim all sides are irreparably corrupt or irreparably perfect. Both sides. Intensify points of political and social conflict. Attack racial minorities as a self-fulfillment of their race war meme and yours. Find a group of people that is triggerable. Create political tension. Vote for the most extreme candidates. Do not vote for anybody centrist. Because then something might get done, and your goal is to destroy the society and culture because you're a minority, because there's only 50 of you in the Baltic states. So you fuck with American politics? Yeah, I'm not just joking here, I'm literally quoting. Use specific firearms or other methodologies to spark divisive fights over gun control or societal norms. Yes, in every case, if possible, use a gun that looks tactical and out of place for ordinary, normal civil usage. Because most people don't think that, a ranch rifle being really mechanically almost the same as an AR-15, but not quite. Let's pick the AR-15 so it triggers people, because that's a good idea. Conservatives that like being radical? I'm the guy who wants to build guns out of pieces of steel pipe because it's completely legal. They look scary and cool, but it's all rust and Fallout video game stuff. But it's also so that I don't feed the military-industrial complex that needs to feed off of the population in this country because they're not in the middle of a war and they can't make their trillions of dollars. So they're willing to suck you dry by talking you into the latest doodad to stick on that stupid .22 caliber rifle. Instead of getting a ranch rifle, you can't really expand as much, make it look anti-tactical, so Californians don't give a shit if you put a 100-round mag in it. But hey, we're not accused. It's not about the magazine capacity or accuracy. It's about what the fuck was it about when you did that? Boogaloo boys who want to bring about the second revolution in the United States because that worked so good the first time. Yeah, create gun control debate, even if you don't want gun control, because that way you can have an argument, something to talk about, distract people from what your goal is. Celebrate the ideologically opposed acts of violence by Antifa. Literally, that's being done. By the way, you might have seen an Antifa person-looking thing with an anarchist symbol behind him, so he couldn't be alt-right. No, he's alt-right. He's an alt-right anarchist. Anarchy has nothing to do with right or left. Not anymore. Distribute flyers for rallies and counter-rallies to create conflict, to stoke social division and mainstream media coverage of it. Doesn't matter what the message is, exploit it. Don't let any catastrophe or crisis go to waste, especially if you can create one. Even if it makes you look bad, it's still a crisis. Hey, at least I got my name right. Free real estate. Mirror your own hate and fear in others so that they will, if they have a conscience, recognize you in them and then hate you more. It's a 50-50 shot, right? It might work. Or get them to do that as well. Blame your opponent over and over again for what you've done. Your false flag, decentralized violent actions are harder for authorities to stop or investigate. But that sounds like an Antifa plan. You were told Antifa. If you're watching this, or alt-right people, or BLM, or anybody else, you are told that one group or another follows a particular playbook instead of them having the same fucking photocopy. Repurpose words and misuse them. The word accelerationism is only slightly misused. Repurposed from the 1990s techno-Marxist capitalist cult's philosophy derived from the fall of the Soviet Union that seems to have been caused by capitalism acceleration. Democracy has outlived its usefulness now. Neo-reactionaries argue that egalitarian democratic policies described as progressive by left liberals are a way of slowing down the only progress worth having, acceleration towards techno-capitalist singularity. A one-world economic government. Yes, there's Marxists telling you to believe these things and you're misusing their words. Conclusion. Divide and conquer. Get people divisive and fight each other so you don't have to do the work. Fewer bullets to cost. Get people the idea that there's a shortage on guns or bullets. Don't tell people how to just make them themselves while you talk about doing so, but always say you're doing it illegally. There's even a website that talks about illegal conversion of blank firing weapons that are full auto. Because for some reason, instead of just making a gun so you can defend yourself, you want a machine gun pocket pistol? You didn't think that was a plant by somebody trying to catch you? It's not just the FBI. Oh yeah, and some of this is stolen from FBI and CIA tactics to infiltrate and disrupt other countries. But no, it has to be whatever group you don't like doing the bad things and whatever group you like doing them in reaction. Because that totally fucking makes sense to you. Good day.